Hello, everyone, and welcome to this Manifesting Abundance video show. I am your show's host. My name is Kathryn Yarborough, and I am a manifesting abundance coach, and I specialize in working with heart-based entrepreneurs. And today I have a wonderful special guest, Jan Messersmith, which I believe I'm saying your name right, Jan. Is that correct?
Yep, that's
And
right.
and Jan does similar work to me, so this is going to be super fun. It's not always that I get to talk to someone who has been attracted to the same type of people and works in similar ways. So, and we probably think a lot alike. But anyway, if this is your first time to a Manifesting Abundance video show, it is my intention that these shows be informative and fun and educational and interesting. And so I am inviting guests to the show who are like me, creating their life by design rather than by default. And we're going to talk about that process, and we talk about whatever that person is interested in, and and so we're going to grow the world together into a world that works for all of us. What's coming to mind is all the political stuff that's going on these days, and the traumas that people have been experiencing, and I just believe that those of us who are interested and practicing manifesting and creating our lives by design, and spiritual, that we have the potential to make a really huge difference, and we start with ourselves. And so with that, I say thank you for listening and tuning in, and let's just jump in and hear from Jan. And so, Jan, would you please introduce yourself to everyone who maybe who doesn't know about you yet?
Well, hi, Kathryn. Thank you so much for having me on the show. This is an awesome thing you're doing here, and I really resonated with what you were saying about being heart-centered and soul-led, and all those things are my values too. And so what I do is I work with what I call visionary entrepreneurs. I help them tap into their unconscious mind so they can have more clarity, confidence, and have all the clients that they desire. So
Jan, what got you started doing this work?
Oh, wow. I have been a chef for like 25 years, a professional chef.
A chef? Yeah. Where, in a restaurant?
In many restaurants. I owned a restaurant at one time. I owned a catering company at one time. And I was, at one point in time, very, very unhappy. Because it was a lot of hard work. It was a lot of time. I couldn't, I worked every weekend, that kind of stuff. So I didn't have a lot of freedom. And I love cooking, and I still do a lot of cooking. I still have like kind of a part-time gig as a caterer. And I so loved the cooking aspect, but there was something else missing. And I was being of service, but I wanted to be of service in a different way. Mm. And so I decided to become a massage therapist. And doing this process, I come to find out that there was a reason why I had been stuck in the back in the kitchen as a chef. I had what now they label it as social anxiety. I actually couldn't go out and meet people I didn't know. I couldn't go and start a conversation with somebody I didn't know. So massage school was not the best place to have a social anxiety, because you have to take your clothes off to get massaged, right?
Oh my God, so interesting. You are so real. I mean, what a great choice.
Yeah, isn't it?
How hard that must have been for you. Oh my goodness.
So I got some serious help about that. I did a lot of spiritual practice, and I worked with several hypnotherapists and people who did NLP. And that just really broke me open. Mm-hmm. And so then I started learning. I took a course on hypnotherapy. I did a hypno-coaching course, and I'm also an NLP practitioner. And so I really got interested in the mind and how the subconscious works and how it's related to spirituality and how we can harness it to use it in our lives. Because, you know, when we talk about manifesting, that's what's happening. It's happening in our unconscious. Our unconscious mind is going to work, bringing all these things to us that we desire. And when we don't have the things that we want, there's something blocking us. So I got really interested in what the blocks were.
Wow. So I'm just like reeling with all of this. You're like here now going, well, let's talk about the blocks. You know, I'm like, okay. But wow. So, okay. So what a path you took. And it's interesting to me, those of us who do decide to create our lives by design and to choose joy. I mean, because that's what I'm hearing you say. You said, you know, you said I was miserable and that wasn't okay. So let me find something else. And that's what you've been doing. Now, so let's go back to the social anxiety, if you don't mind. So you did some healing. It sounds like a lot of different things: spirituality, hypnotherapy, NLP. What was that process like in terms of resolving the social anxiety? And is it resolved, or to what extent is it resolved? I'm just curious.
Well,
so isn't this interesting? So you froze up. I'm having like a one of those experiences that happen. Are you there, Jan? Maybe we're just not supposed to talk about the social anxiety. Oh my goodness, this is like a Skype call where the person freezes up. And she's probably just talking away, and I can't hear a thing.
I'm back now. Are you back?
Oh, yes, I am back. Yeah, it all froze up. So hey, Jan, I don't know if we should talk about social anxiety, but go ahead. Let's try again.
Where did I leave off? I'm sorry.
I didn't hear a thing.
Oh no. Okay, so you're asking me about my process. Okay. It was kind of a step at a time kind of thing. I broke through the thing at the massage school. I mean, we had to do like 100 hours of practice with clients that they had a clinic. And the first like 10 or so, I shook so hard that people complained about me shaking during the massage. It was.
Okay.
At the time.
She froze up again.
So, you know,
Okay. So Jan, you froze up again. This is interesting. I really like the possibility of Google Hangouts working really well when it does, but when it doesn't, it is a bit annoying because I want to hear what Jan has to say about this, as I'm sure you do too. So let's see if we can get back. I have a good friend who has social anxiety, and I don't know that I have social anxiety. I'm more of an introvert, and I'm okay, you know, I'm okay with people. I'm friendly. Probably nobody would think that I feel at all uncomfortable, you know. Are you there?
I think so.
Oh, you're
I'm on my phone, so hopefully this is more stable. Let me see if I can get the phone set up. All right.
Okay.
So sorry about that. I should have just went on the phone at the beginning. That's my fault.
That's okay. That's
Google
okay.
Hangouts does this with me all the time. So I had some really deep blocks around, and a lot of people have these about being seen.
Yeah.
And it was a protection thing. I was protecting myself, and it wasn't necessarily from this lifetime. It was from a past lifetime. A couple of things where I was, you know, the witch and being burnt at the stake, that kind of thing. And you learn to stay in the background and quiet.
Yeah.
So, you know, I've done a lot of past life work. I've done a lot of this. Consequently, was born into a family where things were difficult. Wow, we're having trouble, huh?
That's okay. I can hear you.
Can we? Okay, good. This is bizarre. I'm on my phone too. Oh, a lot of energy here.
Yeah, maybe so.
Now, why am I saying I'm leaving the call? Left the call. Am I still there?
You are here. You
Okay,
are.
great.
And I see
It's
you.
telling me I left the call, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, I was going in and out, so
Yeah.
that's okay. I maybe it's the other one. Maybe it was because your computer left the call.
Okay, let me get. I'm totally off of that now. Okay. So yeah, it's been a process of just trusting in you that I'm going to be okay. And this is, there's a lot of ancestral stuff happening in the world that's coming up to the surface for people to see and heal. And I think becoming an entrepreneur is one of the main reasons why I decided to heal this, why it was time for me to heal this.
Yeah. So, yeah, because I mean, you can't be you can't be not seen and be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
People see you. Yeah, I mean, you could continue.
But you can't.
Go ahead.
No, but you can't control when you're seen and where you're seen.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
And that's, you can choose the methods that you like most, that you're willing to do.
Yeah.
Interviews, because it's easy, and I don't have to perform,
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. So that's part of your adaptation and the healing. It's like you've learned that you don't have to you don't have to perform in order to be among people. And so, it's all that you did, the healing that you've done has helped you to.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And show up for us.
And it's not necessarily one thing either. That's, right. It's not, and trying to have willpower and go about doing it, because that just keeps triggering the old wound, and that's not helpful. If you just keep triggering the same wound, the wound just gets bigger. So you have to, figure out where areas you want to be seen in and be seen in them. And I do a lot of in-person networking because I know a few people in these places, and it's okay for me to walk in a room and I know who's going to be there. I know the kind of person that's going to be there. And now I'm starting to venture online, and it just takes a little while to figure out what's the best place for you to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, so Jan, where are you located physically?
I'm in Northern California.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Well, if I ever come out there, then you'll have to take me to a networking event.
Absolutely.
I started my business, you probably know that, in Maryland, and I grew my network by going to networking events there, and that was, I learned to talk to one person at a time, and that's what helped me do that and to grow a business.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's been so different going to Facebook and attracting people from all around the globe. It's a totally different experience.
It is.
Yeah, and it's taking me a while to understand how to do that, and for some reason I'm more of a leap. I just sort of shifted into online stuff, and so anyway, but we're here with you, and but I guess what I was talking, for me, it's like I have these different impulses that call to me that move me into the next direction of what I'm going to do. Similarly, to, it sounds like you went through this process and you did your healing, and then somehow you got into working with entrepreneurs. How did that unfold?
Well, I have a degree in accounting from many years ago, and I was an accountant for several years. So I know quite a bit about business. And I love strategy. I love helping people figure out strategy of, and now I combine it with, who they truly are even at soul level, because I do Akashic record readings too. So I can go into their records and say, hey, you're this kind of person at your soul level. Maybe you should think about doing, this. Maybe this is your superpower. And yeah, I just have like so many things that I pull from, and it really makes it hard for me to market myself, because like, well, which one do I choose?
Right. Yeah, I know that feeling. You might really appreciate this, because similarly, I mean, I've got similar skills, and we have the similar, well, not similar skills. We have a similar audience.
Yeah.
And it feels very much like we're both coming from a place of really wanting to help our people be the best them they can be and thrive, right? I mean,
exactly.
And you're coming at it with your skill set. I'm coming up with my skill set, and both of us have several different skills that we can provide our people. And then and this is interesting for marketing, it's like, okay, we both know, well, I know, I'm guessing it's often more powerful when you focus on one thing, and because otherwise it's this big distraction, so well, I can do this, and I can do this, and I can do this for you, and it's interesting that way. So I've just decided my favorite thing to do with people is to help them to become a magnet to their ideal clients, and work with people who've already been in practice for a while, have already had a business for a while.
Yeah.
So I'm currently putting together this client magnet package, and
cool.
Yeah. So and it's so interesting, because when I think about it, my heart sings. So.
Yeah.
So where does your heart sing?
I have recently come to the conclusion that the mindset piece is my one thing. Is because I have done so much inner work, and on so many different ways, not just spiritually, but actually neurologically, like with the NLP and the hypnosis, and working with the subconscious mind, and really trying to help people ground into reality, in the third dimension.
So, okay, so for anybody, I know of NLP, I've read a little bit about it, I've never studied it. So
okay,
it's
called neuro-linguistic programming, which is basically helping people reprogram their mind at the subconscious level, which we all kind of know pretty much runs our body. It's it's everything that we do automatically. You get up and brush your teeth. You don't have to think about how to brush your teeth. You just brush your teeth, because it's a program that's already in your subconscious mind.
So, okay, so let's say you were to work with me, all right?
Okay.
And we were to do some mindset work and use NLP. How would we do that?
Well, we want to just truly want what it is that you want to create, or something you want to stop doing. We can go at it from either way. So if you have a habit of something you don't want to do, we go at it a certain way. I try to work with people more towards goals that are working towards, say, like, I'm not making my sales calls. Well, then we're going to find out why you're not making the sales call. And there's a surface reason, there's, you don't want to feel icky, you don't want to feel pushy, but there's something underneath that. And that's what we work together to find.
Okay.
And then I have a lot of different strategies to help you remove that, reprogram that into something else. It could be, I give you an assignment to do. It could be, I do a hypnosis to talk to your subconscious mind to say, hey, you know what? It's safe and okay for you to make these calls. And sometimes it's just conversationally, like there's different words that will do different things. Say, like, if I say, imagine you are making your sales calls and you feel great about it, and you're in service to that person, but that word imagine it triggers your subconscious mind to think, I need to think about this. What is going on? Or I could be talking about something totally different, other than having a sales conversation, I could be relating it to, I don't know, washing your dishes or something else that you like to do or don't. And it makes sense to your subconscious mind. So there's certain language you can use that can help you make changes on your subconscious level that you're not even aware of.
Interesting. I think I need to study NLP. I like this stuff.
It's really interesting because it's also a great communication model. So you can begin to learn how people communicate. You learn the structure of their language, and their structure of their language informs how they create and what they create. So one of my big words right now that I'm trying not to use is like, I want something. Well, if you're in a state of wanting, you're never having.
Yeah.
If you go and look at the definition of the want, having a desire for something that you don't have.
Yes.
So I try to use the word I desire or I have instead.
So for you, how is I desire different than I want?
Because desire brings up an emotion for me. And emotions will trigger, our subconscious talks to us, and we communicate back and forth with it through emotions, sound, feelings. Well, that's feelings or sound. Through what we see, what we hear, what we feel. That's how we get cues. I mean, I'm very empathic and I'm very psychic.
Yeah.
And this is how we're all psychic. We just haven't tuned in to these things, these cues within our body. So what happens in NLP, you start to learn how to look at other people and how they are accessing information. Like there's IQs, there's there's what's called a state change, where breathing pattern or something's going on when something happens in the body. And sometimes it's not noticeable to the person because they're in their conscious mind.
Right. Well, it's interesting. I do have to say that I do teach people to want. I say that's the second step in manifesting, and I'm going to explain what I mean. Okay.
Well, no, I mean, if you have a definition of it that you can anchor to somebody, that's fine.
Yes.
But just anybody on the street saying, I want, well, if you're in a constant state of wanting, you're never having.
Right. Exactly. So I agree with that. And I'm just saying this because people get confused, and there's it's like there's a both and, that what you're saying is totally true.
Yeah.
And part of that's because we learned, most of us, especially in America, maybe in the Western world, maybe all over, I doubt that, but we learned that when we wanted something, we couldn't get it. Like I want that toy, I want, that thing on TV, I want another dessert, and then our parents said, no. So we got all these no's. This is my perspective. And but however, there is something intrinsic within every human being to desire or to want, and that's connected to our needs. And so when, like, for example, I'm hungry right now, I want food. I'm also thirsty. I want something to drink. And, and then we move up the, sort of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And we want love, and I want connection, and I want to do purposeful work. And so we get confused because there's a part of us that goes, well, no, you can't have what you want. But I believe that it's important to access that intrinsic experience of wanting, and to release, which is what you're talking about, you're teaching people to do, and where you're coming from, which is to release that automatic thinking where you can't have it, be in that cycle of I want and I can't have. But I invite myself and others to really claim what they want from the perspective of expecting that they can get it. And well, there's two things. One is expecting you can get it, but also that deeper thing of connecting to that deep desire at all of these different layers of what it is to be a human being, and to trust that wanting, to trust that feeling inside, and believe in it. And as a spiritual being, I believe that if I want it at that deep level, the divine wants it for me too. And so it is possible to be manifested. But there is, at that layer you're talking about, there's all that automatic, thinking, well, it hasn't happened yet. It's not going to happen. I can't have it. Blah. So I really appreciate where you're coming from.
And I really, I mean, what you've been saying is so valuable for people to get the distinction between I want, I can't have because I want. And I also work way deeper with people. I go into their values. We go way, way deep into their values, and those are their prime motivators. And they can change. You can change values. That's something you can consciously change, which is kind of cool. Several times in my life where I've totally switched directions and I needed to change my values to get to where I wanted to be. It's just so fascinating. And I know you do breath work, and that is so cool.
Yes, I am an integrative breath worker. I don't actually do breath work a lot with my one-on-one clients. I have a lot of meditations that includes breath, and integrative breath work is one of the most hugely transformative tools at the deepest level of our being. So I love that work, and it's not what I'm called to do with my private practice. I really, 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 at this point, want to work with heart-based entrepreneurs about becoming and being magnets to their ideal clients. It's just more fun for me. And I'm all about fun. That deep work is cool and important. And I give people my meditations so they can connect with the divine and their own higher self to make that transformation. But you told me before we got on here that you have a quiz on your website. Tell me what that quiz is.
I do. It's business blocks. And I think it's about 15 questions. And it really, it's a little cheeky. It's got some fun little questions, and it kind of makes you think about what you're doing in your business and where you might be blocked.
Okay, so the first couple of words were the connection messed up. So this is for entrepreneurs, and it's about what your blocks are?
Business blocks, yeah, where you might be blocked from getting clients, making money.
Okay.
Even like, do you know what your superpower is? And are you using it in your business? Because that's important.
Ah, okay. What is my superpower? I'm a really good listener. I'm very intuitive. Anyway, I'm not sure. What's your superpower? I want to know.
I'm a truth teller. I hear truth. And I hear not truth.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh. I like that. How did you uncover that? Are those your words, or they come from some list of superpowers?
Those are, when I do Akashic record readings, there's categories there's like a spectrum of things that energies we're made of. And this happens to be in kind of one little section of the spectrum of people, because there's, people are anywhere from, totally spiritual teachers, channels, to people who are very grounded and they build things, or builders. And we all have all of these energies in us, but some of them are way more prevalent.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like archetypes. It's kind of based around a little bit around arts, and it's just stuff that I heard about people. And I actually had somebody read this for me, and I'm like, and then they started describing things, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm kind of like that. Then now everywhere I see everything that fits that. All these other different divination. I just had a numerology reading last week, and it was all about, I had my chart done before and it was done wrong. and it came up as master number 82, which, what? I never heard of that before. And the master number fit with the things that I had learned in the records. So it's all kind of fitting together.
Very cool. This is such cool stuff. So when you work with clients, you do Akashic record reading and you do the NFC and
yeah. I do a reading when I work with, even if I tell them just a bit about them and what possibly might be the problem, what's going on with them. When I work with people over a longer period of time, that's just part of what I do. I'll do that reading at the beginning and give them that information, and sometimes they're living in it, and sometimes they're not living in their purpose and their divine energies. Sometimes we're trying to be who we think we should be or what somebody else thinks we should be. And then we feel really lost. It's when we're not connected and not being true to ourselves. And then, we'll set some goals, and then we'll just start breaking through the blocks, with whatever tools that I have that I can use.
Excellent. So, all right. Well, wow. I think I'm going to go over to your website, and I'll put the link here in the blog with this video. So, but it's
awesome.
janmessersmith.com, right? And and I'll go over there and do the quiz and see what's going on with me. See if I get anything, and really, really cool. So, before I wrap up here with the listeners. Watchers here, is there anything else you want to tell us?
I just want everybody to be successful. And figure out what it is that makes your heart sing, and just bust through all those obstacles so you can get on with your work, so we can have a happy world instead of an unhappy world, which it seems like we have a lot of times.
Hallelujah. I second that. So thank you, Jan, for your time.
Thank you very much for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. So, folks, I will be back here on Thursday. Let me just check in here and look at my calendar so I can tell you who if I can figure out if I can move this thing. I can't seem to get over there right now. Here we go. I want to tell you who's going to be here with me on Thursday. It's going to be Mare Crumwell. She's this beautiful woman I've known for years, and she's an author and a spiritual person, and I think she's just launching a new book, and so that's going to be a real treat for me to chat with her and see her again after several years. So thank you for tuning in, and thanks again to our guest Jan Messersmith, and I'll be back. Namaste, friends.